seems to me this is pretty good news.
It is good news, and I could not help but note that the annual rate of core CPI inflation, that's excluding food and energy, we want energy out of it because of the matter in Iran. Take that out, 2.5% in July. That's back to where it was prior to the start of the Iran conflict. This tells me that inflation is not spreading out beyond energy, beyond gasoline prices.
So there you have Fox Business reporting on the CPI here. Consumer Price Index rose 0.1% compared with June. The Department of Labor said Wednesday, compared with a year ago, the Consumer Price Index is up 3.4%. Let's get to our next guest. Kush Desai joins us. He's a Deputy White House Press Secretary on X at Kush Desai 47. Kush, thanks for being here with us. It's great to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So I want to ask you about these numbers. And I know that people are talking about prices, affordability. Of course, we're talking about jobs numbers. The economy has a lot of Americans' attention, even with everything else going on in the world. How do you feel about this latest report?
Well, for sure. I think today's CPI report was very good news. I think, number one, we saw that we're not seeing the sort of spillover effects outside of energy, which is obviously a bit volatile given the Iran situation. But we're not seeing that outside of some of these more volatile product categories in CPI. But secondly, I think most promisingly is that we are continuing to see more and more evidence that the president's agenda is paying off where the administration's got involved. We saw a continuing decline in prescription drug prices as a direct result of the president's most favored nation drug pricing deals, a direct result of Trump RX and other interventions in that space. We saw auto insurance costs continue to come down, and that's because of the president's immigration enforcement policies, getting dangerous illegal aliens off of our roads. And we also saw beef prices actually go down in the month of July, which again is a result of what this administration has done to get beef prices, which have been on the up for the past year or so, contained. And meanwhile, we saw the price of other household essentials like eggs, like dairy, like poultry, continue to stay low as they were lower than they were over the past year. So I think this is a lot of good news, and it says a lot about how this administration's policies are paying off.
You know, I think that the president has spoken to the affordability issue. I know that it's something that frustrates him because of the mess that he inherited, the amount of overspending that took place in the last the 4 years leading up to his second term. But there are Americans who do still feel like things are unaffordable. What is the administration's perception of the American individual consumer's perception of things costing too much? Is there still work to be done? Are Americans missing the mark in understanding what the current economic situation is? How does the White House feel about that?
Sure. Look, there's absolutely more work to do. And look, Joe Biden spent 4 years just taking a wrecking ball to our economy with runaway spending that caused this inflation crisis in the first place, and also with tons of red tape, with tax hikes, with other policies that have really taken a hammer to our economy, a sledgehammer to our economy. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot more work to be done. And I think the fact that we saw prescription drug prices, we saw auto insurance prices, we just saw beef prices come down for the first month in a long time, I think shows that our policies, when you give them time to take effect, really do work here.
Kush Desai speaking with us right now, Deputy White House Press Secretary on X at Kush Desai 47. How much cooperation is the White House getting to make, the American experience more affordable for the everyday citizen, the everyday taxpayer? Is this easy for the president to say, this is what we want to do and we're going to get it done? Or are they finding obstacles along the way?
Absolutely. There's tons of obstacles. Number one, Democrats in Congress for sure are not exactly playing ball and working with the president to pass our agenda. The president passed the largest working class tax cut in history that can legislation that created the Trump accounts and many other longer-term benefits for the American people. Every single Democrat voted against this legislation. So we have tons of obstacles here, but we're also finding lots of folks who are cooperating with us. I think the fact that the president has secured trillions of dollars in investments to manufacture in the United States from lots of key industry players. I think the fact that so many retailers are actually lowering prices is a direct result of what this administration is doing to get those prices down. I think shows that, while in particular, Democrats and the left are not exactly cooperative, to say the least. There's lots of people who are patriotic, who are doing the right thing, and we're intent on working with them to keep doing the right thing.
One of the main talking points of, I think, the Democratic Socialists of America is affordability. And their solution, they come to the table, they say, we need bigger government that provides more to the American people. And if you're somebody who's young and you're not feeling as comfortable in the affordability of being a 20-year-old, which I will say, I don't remember ever feeling like I could afford anything. When I was 20, I was hustling my butt off to try to make ends meet. And you realize you just really have to sacrifice a lot of the things you think you want because you just can't afford them yet. So you work your tail off to try to get them. But for a lot of young people, they hear we need affordable housing. Well, that sounds nice. We need, free health care. Well, that sounds fantastic. We need, lower cost grocery stores where the government gives you the assistance that you need in order to afford the groceries that you might want to have. That sounds really nice. And it is measuring well with a portion of the electorate right now. What does the administration say to the DSA creep right now in our campaign season?
For sure. I think it's highly concerning to see the rise of socialism and communism in American politics. I mean, it's never worked before, and it's not going to work now. But again, I think we're focused on doing what does work. And again, I keep pointing back to prescription drug prices because no other president in modern history has been able to get prescription drug prices down other than President Trump, and have done so in a very sustainable way, in a way that doesn't compromise on innovation or anything like that. And so I think the president's focus, the administration's focus is to keep doing what works and let the results speak for themselves. And so I think that's our focus. And we hope that, again, I think people take notice of this and realize that government-run grocery stores didn't work in Cuba. They didn't work in the Soviet Union. They're not going to work here. But the president's supply-side policies that unleash economic growth, that unleash the free market, those do work.
Kush Desai speaking with us from the White House. Do you feel as though the president, how far into their economic policies are they right now? It seems like the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, always has another victory to relay to the American people. But I do think the American people are wanting more. I know that you're talking to us about the business of the White House, but not the campaign that's coming up. But it is going to weigh heavily on voters as they're choosing between the candidates being presented to them in these midterms. Another 2 years of having a Republican majority in the House and a Republican majority in the Senate. I can only imagine what this administration would be able to get done economically for the American people.
That's exactly right. I think a lot of what we're doing here, again, unlike what the Democrats have traditionally sought to do, which is kind of just throw money at the problem and hope it goes away, our solutions take time to materialize and to take effect. And so you brought up what Congress has done. Remember, it was just over a year ago that Congress passed the president's One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cuts. And we're only now starting to see the benefits of people having more money in their pockets. We've talked at length about Trump accounts. It'll take not even months, years for the effects of that, the positive benefits of that to really be felt by the next generation of America's children. And so there's a lot that needs to be done here. And I think, again, we're focused on continuing to deliver more and more results because I think, again, these things take time, but our policies have a proven track record.
Kush Desai speaking with us right now, the Deputy White House Press Secretary. I'm glad you brought up Trump accounts. It's one of my favorite topics to discuss. I think Treasury Secretary Bessent just recently was talking about Trump accounts and encouraging more employers to get behind maybe matching in a similar way that companies might match a 401k contribution from their paycheck, but also maybe getting employers to match those Trump account contributions that parents might make for their kids. Is the administration seeing interest and cooperation in the private sector to participate in this new and innovative process?
Absolutely. Just within the last couple of weeks, Treasury actually announced specific, the specific rules and regulations that go behind how companies can contribute to the Trump accounts of their employees' children. And yes, I think we're seeing a cascade of interest from not just your big companies, but also small and medium-sized companies, because this is a powerful tool, a powerful incentive to encourage workers to come work for you, to do a good job. And so I think it's a win-win-win for all parties involved. And so, again, we are working hand in glove with companies, again, big, large, medium, small, across the board to ensure that as many Americans take advantage of Trump accounts as possible, and again, invest in the next generation of American children.
I'm so glad to talk to you about that, and I'm so glad to hear that it continues to be to continue to gain the momentum. The ball is definitely rolling, but I can't wait to see what this looks like in 5 years and 10 years, for my children, but for any kids that are signing up right now. And if people are thinking about it, trumpaccounts.gov, go sign it up. You can send me messages on my Facebook if you've got questions. I'll answer them if I can, but I'm not authorized to do any of this other than I'm a mom who's participated in it, Kush, and people ask me questions every time we have this conversation, and we get more kids signed up for them.
Absolutely. I mean, again, trumpaccounts.gov, it is a seamless experience. Our app has been designed. We've got some real brainiacs who've made this an absolutely seamless experience. Again, there's even a QR code where if you want to, if you've got a kid in your church who mows your lawn, instead of giving $20, you can just pull out your phone and contribute that $20 to his or her Trump account and let that money grow. And so, again, we want every American to take advantage of this. And again, this is something that's the president has invested a lot of political capital into this, and this is something that we're not going to really see the benefits of for another, not even 5 years, but probably 10 or 20 years. And so this is a long-term investment, and the president is issued a call to action here.
It's great. Kush Desai, thank you once again for being with us. We look forward to having you back soon.
Thanks for having me on.
Take care. Bye-bye. Kush Desai, he's a deputy White House press secretary, talking to us there, and grateful to have him on.